Out of the 4 Bond games Activision has made, 5 if you count their remake of a remake, Bloodstone, in my opinion, is the best. Now granted, this is probably a very biased opinion because the only other console campaign I've beaten is the one for GoldenEye on the Wii. I beat the campaign for the DS version of Quantum of Solace, but only played multiplayer on the Wii version. I played the Goldfinger mission on Legends for the Xbox, but only the first 10 minutes before I was sick of it. However, my enjoyment of Bloodstone for the computer was so high that it's going to be hard to match it. Bloodstone is probably one of the best Bond games. Again, at least in my opinion, because this game is generally met with lukewarm reception, which isn't at all fair, but we'll get to that later. Let's talk about the story. Bond is called to investigate the disappearance of a biochemical technician with information regarding the UK's most secretive weapons project. With help from MI6 contact Nicole Hunter, Bond is thrown headlong into a web of terrorists all wanting the biochemical information. Will Bond get to the bottom of all this? Will he stop the information from falling into the wrong hands? Well, this is all up to you. Bloodstone is a third-person shooter, interlaced with driving stages and injected with some puzzle solving and stealth elements. This is probably what draws me in the most. Bloodstone is a breath of fresh air after playing through countless first-person Bond video games, the Activision games in particular. This is Activision's most unique Bond title. Now, before you start barraging me with comments saying that this is ripping off Splinter Cell Conviction, I'm just saying it's their most unique compared to Quantum, GoldenEye, and Legends. Plus, I don't know a thing about Conviction, so there. This is also one of the main sources of the game's criticism, which is probably why it was met with such lukewarm reception. The story in this game is very well written, penned by Bruce Fairstein. It's intricate and intriguing with only one flaw. There are too many villains. In typical Bond stories, there's usually one main villain with a few henchmen. In this game, there are 5 villains. It's a little confused and unfocused. Also, I'm not really sure why it's called Bloodstone. There are a few mentions to diamonds in the story and in the title sequence, but otherwise, I'm lost. The graphics for Bloodstone are sleek and beautiful. The character models are a little odd looking sometimes. For instance, M looks like she had 15 shots of Botox, but the environments feel and sometimes look real. The settings are exotic and worthy of Bond, going from Athens to Istanbul to Monaco to Siberia and to Bangkok. It truly feels like you're in a James Bond movie. Gunplay is intense and satisfying, with a nice selection of powerful guns to choose from. You're almost always equipped with your Walther P99, and with that you can carry one other weapon. This keeps the game tactical and realistic. However, you're rarely short of ammo to snatch or new guns to grab, so don't fret. All the while you feel like you've got your license to kill and are in control. Most of the time. Sometimes the hit detection can be whack, and it feels like enemies take a few shots too many to put down. Like, oh, I shot that guy in the head, but only knocked his hat off. Yeah, sure. This hardly takes away from the experience. Along with fast and satisfying gunplay, you've also got brutal takedown moves at your disposal. This instantly grounds an enemy and makes you feel like a badass. This was the first time I truly felt like I was playing as Daniel Craig's Bond. Some of the animations can get a little old, but a couple of them are always slick. Plus, every time you score a takedown, you get a focus aim. This allows you to instantly lock onto a target and put them down with one hit, which can come in handy many times. The voice work in this game is also very good. Daniel Craig lends his voice and likeness to 007, and does a superb job with it. Judi Dench does the same for M. She doesn't have a whole lot new to do, but her presence is felt. Rory Kinnear does the voice of Bill Tanner from Q Branch. Again, he mainly provides instructions, but his part is a nice touch. British singer Joss Stone does the voice of Nicole Hunter. She isn't a fantastic actor, but she's tolerable. I liked her more than others did. This is just a portion of the great voice work that went into Bloodstone.
The car's over there.
This game also has unique puzzle-solving elements, always done with your smartphone. Something else that's cool is that the smartphone displays your objective marker. It isn't always on screen like in the other Activision Bond games. So now that I've praised this game left and right, you may be wondering, is there anything I didn't like about Bloodstone? Well, unfortunately, yes. First off, the driving stages. They're wonderfully designed with stunning visuals and tight controls. But the first go-around, they were the source of the most frustration because I'm simply not good at driving stages. Replaying them, granted, I've had better luck, but the first go-through was unforgiving at times. This is a personal problem, so to each their own. And in all fairness, the driving stages are intense and high adrenaline fueled. They were really fun after I got used to them. The game tries to incorporate a stealth element, but there's no real way to sneak up on enemies without alarming them. Without a crouch or a sneak feature, stealth takedowns can be really annoying and sometimes impossible. This is also another personal problem, but my laptop isn't made for heavy gaming, so I have to turn the graphics setting down all the way. This means that sometimes the cutscenes themselves lag and the sound gets out of sync. This is particularly annoying because other cutscenes are shown in the highest setting. Also, each time I restart the game, I have to reset my graphics setting. It gets old. But back to positives. Throughout the game there's intel to be found and scanned. Also, there are dozens of achievements to earn and multiple difficulties to play on. Incorporate that with some diverse online multiplayer, and you got a game that has some great replay value. Now, in today's modern age, third-person shooters are normally shoved out of the way by first-person shooters. This means there are gamers that may not be experienced with them. So for those of you that'll be playing on the Recruit difficulty, here's a few tips for gunplay. Always find cover. This is rule number 1. If you're never sure where to go, bring up your smartphone. Wait for enemies to get close and take them down. Don't want to pop out of cover with low health? Blind fire. Plus you get an achievement for 100 blind fire kills. Don't want to risk your life and ammo? Take out the guys that stand in your way and sprint to your destination. Well, this isn't guaranteed to work, but sometimes you'll come out on top. Also, keep switching guns. Pick up ones enemies have dropped and use your P99 plenty. You also get an achievement for using all the guns in the game, so there. Use these tips and happy hunting. And last but not least, the music in this game is a masterpiece. Composed by Richard Jacques, it's dramatic, heroic, gritty, and all Bond-esque. Joss Stone sings the game's main theme, I'll Take It All. Unfortunately, the theme is pretty lackluster compared to the rest of the score. Again, just my opinion, because I seem to be in the minority on this. Everyone seems to love this theme, so maybe you will. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Bloodstone is, in my opinion, the best Activision 007 title, and one of the best games in the Bond franchise. It's got a great story, impressive graphics, satisfying gameplay, and a colorful cast of characters and settings. This all leads to a memorable and fantastic Bond experience. I'd give it a 4.5 explosions out of 5. I highly recommend it.